Hello, Samantha.
Hi.
Can you tell me what is Reiki?
So, Reiki is a form of hands-on healing. Reiki actually means universal life force energy. And the Reiki practitioner is a channel for that life energy. And when you receive Reiki, you will find that the practitioner will put their hands in a series of hand positions on you. And you might feel that there is heat emanating from the hands. It might feel a little bit tingly. You might find that you go into a lovely relaxed space. Generally Reiki is really relaxing. And then you receive a treatment which will sort of focus on the whole body, on the whole being, and it will seek to bring it back into balance. So it is a form of healing, yeah.
How is it different from a massage?
You don't, in Reiki, the practitioner doesn't move their hands very much. Now, there are some variations that are possible, but essentially the healing happens through the hands being placed in positions, and they're kept in each position for a certain length of time. So that might be 3 minutes, it might be a bit longer, it might be 5 minutes in each position. Sometimes it will be more appropriate for the hands to stay in one place longer than in another. Sometimes there can be a little bit of pressure applied, but it isn't actually digging in, it's not working on muscles or tissues like that.
So if I were to come for my very first Reiki session with you, what would we be doing?
I would be inviting you to sit with me initially, just so we can come into the space together and you can tell me what's brought you for the day on that occasion. And then I will let you know that you're going to stay completely clothed. I will invite you up onto the couch so you can lie down, although if you prefer it, and sometimes people aren't comfortable lying down, so it's also okay to sit, and it's possible to receive a treatment sitting. For the most part though, I'll invite you to lie down. I'll let you know that halfway through I will sort of just give you a little squeeze so that you will then be invited to move over. So I'll work on the front of the body and the back of the body. And I'll make sure you're nice and comfortable. You get a nice blanket so that you sort of stay warm. And then at the end, there's also a chance to have a bit of a chat to see how that was for you. I'll often share things that have come up for me that I've picked up that are useful. So, you know, I'll give information that is useful for you to go away with.
And do people tend to come for a certain amount of sessions?
Now, Reiki is cumulative. That means that the power of it, if you want, and the impact builds. So then over a session. So the more sessions you have, the more it will be able to have an impact, the more it will work. However, one session can be a really lovely experience, and it can have a big impact in itself. It all depends on the person, how open they are to receiving, and also what the issue is. If it's a long-standing issue, if it's something that's quite recent that has brought them. Now, so a Reiki treatment, you know, can be booked on an individual basis, but it can also be booked as one of a sequence, and there is something called a 4-day Reiki treatment, which is led over ideally 4 consecutive days, but it can also be something that you do over 4 weeks, and it is a great way to create a shift. So when you're looking to really make a shift, and that can be sort of get into dealing with an issue which might be physical, but it might be mental, it might be an emotional one. It can also be to really help sort of move out of a space. Perhaps life has just been a bit stagnant and you want to move out of that into sort of flow, get something off the ground. Yeah, so that can be a really good idea. And then it's also quite traditional to do 10-day Reiki treatments, so that can also be 10 consecutive days, or over slightly more spaced out, and 30 Reiki treatments. But anything in between also is fine and is appropriate to organise.
And people come to you for what kind of issues?
People come for all sorts of things. So Reiki is really good at dealing with stress, and where stress has had that sort of negative impact on any situation, then Reiki will benefit. But it's really useful for so mental spaces of whether it might be depression or confusion. It can be, I've had people come for, it can be people who have issues with everything from constipation, fibroids, from ME, from pain, so it might be pain held anywhere, shoulder pain, elbow pain, it can be any form of pain. So really it can work on all symptoms and all situations. It is entirely holistic and safe, and it's non-intrusive, so it is beneficial for all conditions, really.
How, sorry.
Yes, no, yes, it can be, it can be useful also for all ages. So it can be something that's really good for little babies, maybe if there are any sleep problems, it can help, and children benefit from it as well.
I wanted to know how you came into Reiki.
Now, I came to Reiki actually because I was seeking some, I could say answers, I was seeking understanding is the better word, because of something that I have had since I was a child, which was actually knowing. So it was really that I had a psychic ability, so I came to it through that, because as a child I knew things, and this stayed with me, and as I grew up I had a lot of questions around that, and I didn't have very much context, so I didn't have family or friends who were involved in the psychic field or clairvoyancy, and so I really sort of just moving forwards a little bit on my own. I'd sort of delved into various books and a few different sort of fields to try and understand what this was, and it was on that path that I came across Reiki. I actually had gone up to Edinburgh to enjoy the Edinburgh Theatre Festival, and I had seen that there was a healing festival happening at the same time. I was very drawn to it, and I went along to the centre where that was being held, and as I came in, I felt quite excited, and I actually had to do a little lap around the garden before going in, the front garden, before going in, and then when I did, I found someone who seemed approachable to just say, look, I'm looking for some guidance, I don't want a treatment or anything right now today, I just want to speak to somebody, and that person went, oh, an intuitive who wants some guidance, that's fine, there's the perfect person to speak with you. And I ended up heading off and sitting in the garden with this lovely gentleman who sort of started to speak my language, and he then said, I think Reiki would be a really good thing for you to experience and to learn. And I'd heard the word a few times, it had come into my sort of periphery, and I had spotted, the odd leaflet, and so it was there in my awareness, didn't really know what it was, and I just went, yeah, great, okay, I'm going to do that. When's the next course? And I signed up for it with this lady who this gentleman knew, and that was up in Edinburgh as well, and I sort of travelled up there a few months later and did my Reiki 1, which was back in 1998.
And now you're sharing your knowledge.
I am, yes.
Have you got anything else to say? I have no more questions. I don't know if you...
well,
like
just
to
on
add
that point, so
something?
I did sort of dive in, really. I went into learning Reiki, and just to say that learning Reiki can be a wonderful thing to do on a path of self-discovery and personal development. But of course also, if you actually want to have that one sort of versatility, sort of and wonderful aspect of being able to help yourself at any time. So learning Reiki is a wonderful option for anyone who's interested in being able to, you know, heal themselves or address that need that we all have at times for healing. And so you can learn to give yourself a treatment, to treat others. It's a simple process because Reiki is so simple, and so training takes place in 3 stages through a Reiki 1 workshop, a Reiki 2 workshop, and then there is the Reiki Master, which can be undertaken for those who really want to sort of go deeper into their commitment to Reiki. And yes, it's wonderful to give. It's so versatile. You can actually give Reiki, once you have it, you can give Reiki to not only yourself and to your friends and family, but you can also give it to your pets, you can give it to plants, you can give it to spaces, so you can sort of actually put Reiki into your room, you can give Reiki to your food. I mean, it's wonderful. Yes, and it's so sort of reassuring, calming, soothing. It's what I call a friend for life.
Yeah, and safe, it sounds to me.
Yes,
what
yes,
comes to me.
completely safe. Yes. So it is a sort of beneficial, it's pure life energy. So it's simple and beneficial and incredibly versatile. So it's something that I feel I can always turn to, and I think that's the biggest sort of impact it's had in my life. It's that I feel there's always something I can do. There's always something I can turn to, whether it's for myself or for others. And yes, you always feel that it's a friend, and it's a friend for life, because once you have it, you always have it. So I wish you all well in your Reiki discovery and Reiki journey.
Thank you, Samantha.
Mm-hmm.